What up, Space Fam? Goes in here from AnimeUproar, and today I'm going to be talking about Upper Moon 3 Akaza, the best villain in Demon Slayer, and specifically about how strong he actually is. I also just want to thank you guys because our last Demon Slayer video was trending on all of YouTube. It was the first time that ever happened on his channel, so that was an amazing experience. Thank you for that. If you do enjoy seeing these Demon Slayer videos on the channel and want to keep them coming, then the best thing you could do is smash that like button to let me know. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial, hit that notification bell and turn on all notifications or you will miss upcoming Demon Slayer videos and updates. If there are any specific topics you are burning up to see, let me know in the comments, and while you wait for me to make that video, feel free to check out my growing Demon Slayer playlist that includes videos on all the breath styles, all demon moons, all Hashiras, a bunch of how strong is videos, and much more. Link to that is in the description. Now without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. So if you watch the new hype Demon Slayer movie, Mugen Train, you know that Upper Moon 3 Akaza appears out of nowhere after they defeat Lower Moon 1 Enma. It was absolutely brilliant because just as we're lulled into a false sense of security, since usually you get to celebrate after a hard-fought victory, this sort of cool clown-looking dude just strolls on into the movie. It's our first glimpse into what an Upper Moon is capable of, and we skipped over Upper Moon 6 to 4 and went straight to a top 3 fighter. And Kyojuro Rengoku, the undeniably strong flame pillar and one of the Demon Slayer Corps' most powerful fighters, had no chance of beating him. Not to downplay the amazing things Rengoku accomplished, but in a fight to the death, and if the sun wasn't a factor, Akaza was just way out of his league. And we didn't even see Akaza's limits during that fight, but they will become more clear as we move on with the video. But to fully trace Akaza's evolution and strength, let's rewind a bit to before Akaza was even a demon and went by the name Hakuji. This was over a century ago. At that point, Hakuji was a poor kid who needed to get stronger so he could get medicine for his sick dad. Even before he became a demon, he was considered a demon child. At only 11 years old, he'd already committed many crimes and had pickpocket tattoo lines put on his arm so that everyone would know he was a criminal. And no matter how many times he was hit, tattooed, threatened, and so on, he was determined to keep stealing so he could help out his dad, until his dad, not wanting to trouble his son anymore, took his own life. Hakuji started taking out his frustration on the world and the people in it. He fought with and beat 7 adults with his bare fists in one case. But then he ran into his future sensei who clobbered him. Despite how badly Hakuji was beat, Keizo, his soon-to-be sensei, was impressed that he only took an hour to get back up. Keizo taught a bare fist fighting style called Soryu, and he helped train Hakuji in it as well. We are going to gloss over Hakuji's amazing love story with Keizo's daughter, which I cover in more detail in my best villain in Demon Slayer video, so we can stick to the topic of strength for this one. What is important to know is that Hakuji was set to marry Koyuki, Keizo's daughter. He was madly in love with her and she was madly in love with him, despite the fact that he was a branded criminal. When he was 18 years old, he went to his dad's grave to tell him of his upcoming marriage, only to come back and find out that their well had been poisoned by a rival dojo. The rival dojo resorted to such cowardly means because they could never beat Keizo and Hakuji in martial arts. Not surprisingly, after losing his sensei and the love of his life, he snapped. The incident was recorded in history. Hakuji confronted the Kenjutsu dojo and killed 67 people with his bare fists. The maid who witnessed the scene lost her mind. People thought the story was so absurd and preposterous. An 18-year-old kid beating up 67 swordsmen with his bare hands, that they completely erased it from the records after 30 years. But it was true. Hakuji managed that before he even became a demon and got the power upgrade associated with that. It was at this point when Hakuji no longer had a reason to live that Muzan approached him. He'd heard a commotion about a demon and wanted to investigate, only to find out that they were talking about Hakuji, a mere human. At this point, Muzan was still thinking about creating the 12 demon moons. They weren't an actual thing yet. And so he gave Hakuji a bunch of demon blood to see if he could survive it and become one of these demon moons. Hakuji didn't care about anything anymore and let himself be turned into a demon, losing his memories in the process, but maintaining his will to become stronger. Hakuji goes on to become Upper Moon 3 Akaza, and it should be emphasized that Upper Moons are a completely different breed from Lower Moons. When the story begins, it has been 100 years since an Upper Moon has been killed, meaning they have much greater lifespans than Hashiras, even Upper Moon 6, the weakest Upper Moon. And Akaza is not just any Upper Moon, but number 3. So now let's fast forward to Akaza's fight with Rengoku. By this point, he's way stronger than he was when he defeated 67 swordsmen. He has demon enhanced strength, speed, and regeneration, in addition to a blood demon art known as Shockwave Generation that we'll get into in a bit. During his fight with the Flame Pillar, we learned that Akaza can tell a person's strength and how polished their battle spirit is just by looking at them. He compliments Rengoku, saying he's close to supreme territory. But he can't quite get there because he's still human rather than a demon. As they fight, Akaza reveals that he's killed multiple pillars up to this point, although Rengoku is his first flame pillar. We see Akaza's blood demon art at work in this fight, and as Rengoku remarks, his shockwave attacks reach him when he fires into the empty air with his fists, and he moves at a fraction of a blink to boot. So if a pillar tries to fight from a distance, it's pretty much a lost cause. They are forced to get close and stay close. When Akaza uses his destructive kill war style attack, as it's called in my translation, against Rengoku's flame tiger attack, Rengoku is the one who gets messed up, while Akaza's wounds heal in the blink of an eye. Akaza is so strong here that he's begging Rengoku, his opponent, not to die because he wants to have more fun fighting against him. And this is all the more significant because although Gyomei is the strongest pillar, at this point Rengoku is no doubt in the top tier of pillars strength-wise. So Akaza is flexing on one of the best. Akaza's level is such that Inosuke can't move because he knows he'd only be a hindrance if he tried to jump in and help. When Rengoku uses his strongest 9th style purgatory attack, Akaza counterattacks with destructive kill obliteration style, and it gives Rengoku a mortal wound that he won't be able to recover from. Full props to Rengoku, who doesn't give up even though he's fated to die soon and tries to use Akaza's trapped arm in order to defeat him. And thanks to the sun that's coming up, he almost succeeds. But Akaza's demon powers are way too handy, and he escapes by ripping off his own arms and running away. Since they'll regenerate soon enough anyways, it's no real harm to Akaza. This fight was written so well that Rengoku arguably got the win, since Akaza ran away before Rengoku even died, and as Rengoku wished, Akaza didn't succeed in hurting anyone else. Still though, in a pure one-on-one fight, it's clear that Akaza was stronger because all his injuries healed in the blink of an eye, and if the sun didn't come up, he probably would have not only finished off Rengoku, but the others present as well. Rengoku was so strong that when Tengen heard he lost, he remarked, so even Rengoku lost to the Upper Moon demons, implying he was strong even compared to other pillars. And Iguro, the snake pillar, straight up said he doesn't believe it. And thus, Akaza is set up as a truly formidable villain, who without even taking the fight too seriously, remember he was begging Rengoku not to die, managed to kill one of the strongest pillars. So how can such an opponent possibly be defeated, and what are the limits of his power? Well, we have to fast forward in the story to when a much stronger Tanjiro and Giyu face off against him. At this point, Giyu says that it would not be an overstatement to say that Tanjiro's ability is equal to a pillar's. So this time you have at least 2 pillar level slayers fighting against one Akaza. And this is at the beginning of the fight. They both get stronger as the fight goes on. During this fight, Akaza reveals that he killed a water pillar 50 years ago, but Giyu isn't just any water pillar, and as I mentioned, both Giyu and Tanjiro rapidly improve over the course of this fight. Giyu mentions that this is the first time in a long while that he's up against a strong opponent who overwhelms him, and it forces him to sharply hone his senses. Markings appear on his face, which is kind of like going Super Saiyan for a demon slayer, meaning a significant increase in speed and power, although Akaza adjusts to this increased speed relatively quickly. It is during this fight that Tanjiro realizes the reason Akaza can respond perfectly to attacks even coming from his blind side is because, just as Tanjiro can sense things with his sense of smell, Akaza can sense fighting spirit and killing intent. So the key to catching Akaza off guard is actually to remove all hostility from one's being. As Akaza straight up punches a marked Hashira's sword and breaks it, possibly one of the greatest flexes in all of anime, Tanjiro is learning to better gain access to the transparent or see-through world, which, like markings, is another huge power boost for the most skilled of demon slayers. Access to this transparent world, which makes it seem like everything is in slow motion, and his selfless state that erases killing intent, allow Tanjiro to actually cut Akaza without him seeing it coming. Keep in mind, at this point, Tanjiro is above most pillars in power and is clearly outclassing Giyu. While Akaza launches an attack called Final Form Blue-Silver Chaotic Afterglow that Giyu's dead calm is completely useless against, Tanjiro manages to dodge the hundreds of blows Akaza launches simultaneously well enough to remain standing. Then, even after Tanjiro tells Akaza he's going to cut off his head, Akaza is unable to stop the new Tanjiro from doing it. Although this may make Akaza seem kind of weak by comparison, we have to remember Tanjiro at this point has Demon Slayer markings, the strongest breath style, namely the Dance of the Fire God, access to the transparent world, an OP selfless state that gives off no fighting spirit or killing intent, and he's arguably the chosen one. Akaza himself admits that Tanjiro has reached the domain of supremacy, aka the supreme territory that he was seeking all of his life. And yet, Akaza is not done. His headless body continues to fight on. He smashes an exhausted Tanjiro into the wall, leaving him unconscious. Despite not having a head, the body quickly regenerates from all of Giyu's attacks. It seems like Akaza is about to evolve into something else, something that can survive beheadings by Nichiren blades, like Muzan. Giyu seems to be in a hopeless situation since he's injured and exhausted while, as he says, demons don't feel exhaustion or pain. And remember, Tanjiro is currently passed out after hitting the wall. At this point, despite Tanjiro having temporarily surpassed Akaza's power, Akaza could have finished them both off. However, this is when the memories of his past life start rushing in and he hesitates. There is an internal struggle whether he should evolve into a stronger demon or finally let go and die as a human. Tanjiro wakes up and goes to attack Akaza again, but he's too exhausted and drops his sword, not even being able to hold it properly. At this point, it's an easy win for Akaza, but rather than attacking them, he self-destructs, and the memory and spirit of his fiancée lets him fight off Muzan's influence and welcome his own death. It's a great way to see this amazing character go. Rather than being definitively defeated, he chose that this will be his place to die. He had the potential here to evolve and surpass Upper Moon 2, but he chose to forego any more power for the sake of his humanity and tranquility. All this time, Akaza didn't want to kill weaklings, as he always talked about. He wanted to kill himself for being unable to protect his father, sensei, and fiance. It's an amazing character arc. He's definitely my favorite villain in this entire series, and now we all have a better sense of how insanely strong Akaza was and could have been. Arguably, he remained undefeated right up till the end where he decided to take his own life. And I love the fact that his character arc emphasizes that there are more important things than just striving to be the strongest at any cost. And that is it for my latest How Strong Is video. Keep in mind, this is one of many, so check out the playlist to see other ones, and feel free to suggest any characters in the comments that I have yet to cover. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to smash that like button until it's blue, or whatever color YouTube is making it turn into these days. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial. Hit that notification bell and turn on all notifications, or you will miss upcoming Demon Slayer videos and updates. If there are any specific topics you are burning up to see, Rengoku style, let me know in the comments. And while you wait for me to make that video, feel free to check out my growing Demon Slayer playlist that includes videos on all breath styles, all demon moons, all Hashiras, a bunch of How Strong Is videos, and much more. Link to that is in the description. And I especially want to thank the Patron Squad over on Patreon and here on YouTube who help make videos like this one possible. First and foremost, I want to thank the Patrons of Legend, the ones acknowledged by Lord Twigo himself, Alpha Sigma, and Red-Haired Raven. And are the 1-tier patrons the ones who stand atop all clans: Ingrata, Pate Hefa, Aljatal, Dr. Courtman, The Toasted Chi, Rai Carlo, Slickback, Emperor Otaku, Spidey Life Tanel, Tungsten Tarkus, Baked Buddhist, and Cody Hebert, and our Pro Hero tier patrons, the one and only Gilgamesh, Angel Cruz, Anatoly Kazatsky, Cricket XP, Very Gucci, Alicia Actor, Bonnie Parks, Hinokami and Water, Ted No Ted, iSparky65, Joanne Garcia, Fatboy Games, Metal Mama, Corey McGowan, Deadly Saint, Soul Rise, Slice and Dice, and Pillu. Thank you all so much. If you do enjoy our work, you can support more of it by going over to patreon.com/AnimeUproar and becoming a patron today for as little as $1. If you do so, you'll get your name featured in future videos alongside these amazing people right here, and you'll even get access to our private patron-only Discord where we talk about anime life and, of course, dank memes. So check out patreon.com/AnimeUproar, link in the description if you're interested. You can also join the YouTube channel by clicking that blue join button next to the subscribe button that you've hopefully already destroyed. And if you do become a channel member, keep in mind you can find the link to the Discord by going to the community tab, and you'll see secret VIP hidden messages that only channel members can see. And that's where you'll find the link to the VIP Discord. So yeah, you can support more content that way if you prefer. Whichever way you choose to support us, you can get the same great benefits. Thanks again, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.